Not today, pal. Not today.
I'm going to start this episode today because we have a guest that just means so much to so many people. She is a world-renowned medium from Long Island. It's like my two favorite things married into one person. For 14 years, she graced our screens with the Long Island Medium, and I've had my own personal reading with her, 11, maybe 12 years ago.
I was trying to remember. I was like, well, I don't remember when it was, but I feel like it was yesterday because you haven't changed.
Yeah.
I know. I think it was about 12 years ago,
Wow.
and it truly was the piece that my family needed. The gift that you gave us in that moment and beyond is priceless. I will forever be grateful to you. It made me an even bigger fan, and I'm just so happy to welcome Theresa Caputo to Not Today, Pal.
Well, thank you for having me. It's very
thanks for being here.
exciting.
Everyone here was very excited about you
that's
too.
so sweet.
Yeah, we have friends asking to come today.
That's right.
Really?
Oh yeah, normally I show up alone.
You're kidding.
No, we got friends. They're like, can we come?
Oh
meet
my God, of
Theresa? I'm
course.
like,
Well,
yeah,
listen, if
come
they
on.
want to come to my show tonight, just let me know. We'll
Wow.
have tickets. But yeah,
Thank you so
absolutely.
much.
Yeah.
Thank you. We appreciate
Yeah.
that.
So you're on tour right now. And what does that entail? How many cities? You've done
God.
this before.
Yes. So I tour pretty much all year. And now that I'm not filming a television show, I do probably almost 95 live shows a year. Wow. Yeah, traveling all over the country. So
Is that
a lot.
exhausting, or does that actually give you energy?
I don't know. It is. Listen, work is exhausting. No
Sure.
matter what we do is exhausting. But I don't know. I guess it's just my personality. And I really feel like I was made to do this. You know, I love what I do. And it is tiring. It is a lot. But I'm not going to complain about it because I couldn't imagine doing anything else.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
how exactly do you describe what you do? Because even when you say like what you do, like there's so many different
Yes.
ways that can come. Like
Sure.
you know what people do in that. If somebody even says like I'm a medium or I'm this or that,
Right.
you're like I don't.
even know what I am.
Right. Yeah.
Honestly, I love that people say, oh, she's this, she does that. And I'm like, okay, I'm glad you know how this works because I don't know how it works. It just happens.
Yeah.
So I always say, and I guess it's easier for me to start it out on how I became where I am.
Please.
So like, I always sensed and felt things from the age of 4. So for me, it was normal to see things that other people didn't, hear things and talk about things that people were like, wait, how do you know that? And no one ever made a big deal about the things that I would say or do growing up. I come from a very spiritual family, faithful family. I always say I'm a practicing Catholic, even though they don't agree with what I do. They take my money every week, but that's it. But I share that because it's important because it took me almost a decade to incorporate my gift with my faith because I struggled with it. And then I couldn't understand why would someone even want to come and see a medium and speak to their loved ones that have died? I couldn't understand that. But what I learned is that unfortunately, no matter who we lose or how they die, we here in the physical world are left with burdens and guilts or just negative emotions or maybe what ifs and all of these negative emotions do not give us the ability to heal. So I use my gift for healing. I don't want to know anything. I don't want spirit telling us what we should or shouldn't do with our lives. These are our free will choices. I just want them to acknowledge for us that there truly is an afterlife. More importantly, that the things that we sense and feel, that it is our loved one's soul. They haven't left us. This is a bond that will never be broken. We have that connection. I want people to leave my show, whether watching my television show, my live show, listening to my podcast. I want them to know that they have this connection with their loved ones. That they're not crazy, the things that they sense and feel.
Right.
And what I've learned more so over the decades of doing what I do is that people leave the physical world sometimes in a very untimely way.
Yeah.
And people are left with so many questions and they can't heal. And, you know, at the end of the day, we're going to grieve the loss of our loved ones for the rest of our lives. We are forever changed no matter who we lose. And that grief is never going to go away. But hopefully it'll get lighter. And that grief's going to hit us differently at times in our life. You know, some people think, oh, just get through the first year, I'll be okay. And then that second year comes, or maybe the fourth year, and it hits them harder and they feel like they're grieving all over again. So it's kind of like just a cycle. But I think that it's important that we just have to honor it and know that it's okay to feel that way. But to remember the good times.
So when they say that they're like, when you speak to them in the afterlife, how do they describe where they're talking to you from? Like, do you ever ask them, like, where are you? What is this place?
Well, they're usually right next to me. No.
Right, yeah.
Well, standing behind you.
That's why we left the seat open next to you. Yeah, just in case anybody.
It's just, they're just there. Like, I can feel things. I'll feel gravitated to look. Like, I can tell there's energy in this corner because I feel gravitated to look over there. It doesn't mean that someone's going to speak or that I just feel drawn to that. So that's how it works for me. I just feel drawn and I get fixated on someone. And then I just start sensing and feeling things that don't mean anything to me, but are life-changing to the person that I'm in front of.
And do the spirits ever describe, like, have you ever asked them, like, where are you all talking to me from? I'm meaning, like, where are you guys, like, I don't know if it's trapped or where are you now or where do you go?
I haven't asked them that. They will show me, like, so maybe this is the best way I could describe it. They'll show me, like, they'll show me them engulfed in white and golden light. That's my symbol for God, that their soul is with God. Might bring me in their loved one's home. They'll, like, have me describe specific hallways in someone's house, what a room looks like. Yeah. But it's almost like it's energy. Our souls are energy. Yeah. So no matter where energy is, that's where the souls are. So
I wanted to ask you a question because so this summer, my oldest son was very ill in the hospital. There was a moment where I knew I was about to lose him. I felt
they sent him back.
Yeah, and that's what he told me.
They showed me that they showed him heaven.
That's what he told. Oh my gosh! So I've really struggled with. He's 11 years old, and he's been so profoundly affected, and he's so clear on what he saw and what he experienced. And this is like everything I've ever wanted to believe and everything that I have believed. But when it's right in front of your face, and your kid is telling you, "I met God." And I saw heaven and they told me to come back. Like, I'm having a hard time accepting it. And he tells me he speaks to my brother. I
was just going to say that there were the three profound souls that he saw. Is that correct?
Yes.
There were three souls that he saw. So they did send him back because it wasn't his time. And I'm going to say this. I was just shown that it was because as spiritual as you are, you needed to have that experience. It almost like it wasn't about him, it was about you, about restoring your faith in yourself and in life itself. Yeah. Because they just told me, you're not going anywhere.
Wow. You guys, he did only come back with messages for me.
Jeez. So, yeah. I can't get rid of the chills. I can't get rid of the chills.
Yeah. It was
because I'm also going to say this. Your brother just said to me, what happened with your son, and no disrespect to what happened, it was a complete freak thing that happened. So everything from how he was saying, what happened, then what led after that, and then they just show me, then you look at him and he's perfectly fine. Like, you would never know that he went through this traumatic experience, life-changing experience, and your brother showed me he's like me. Like, it was nothing. Like, it was just another day. Like, I was just over talking to God, and I saw, people that had died, and they told me to come back. Like, it was so matter of fact.
Yes, it is. And he had no relationship with God prior. Like, he did, like, I think I really, for me, wanted my kids to find their own path to God and spirituality. And he has come back like the most faithful believer you've ever seen. But it's fully integrated into who he is.
I think that's hard. I think that we want our children to kind of make their own decisions, like especially with faith, but we have to give them a base.
I know.
They need some type of baseline.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and whatever that is, I share my faith only because people want to know if I have a faith.
Yeah.
I say to people, I don't care what your faith is, as long as you believe in a higher power. That's it.
Yes. Yeah.
And hold it, because faith, you know, it's something that I've said, actually connected to my jewelry line that I've done, is that, you know, death changes us. Our faith carries us, and the love never leaves us.
That's beautiful.
So that, and I think people struggle with religion.
Yes.
It's hard. It's hard to believe in something that we can't see, that we can't, right? And then we got so many stories, right? So this is why I encourage people, you know what you feel. You know what you experience. Hold on to that and let your faith, whatever that is, carry that. Let that grow from that mustard seed of whatever it is that you feel. And that's how we grow faithfully.
Starting a new podcast was stressful. Agendas, setup, filming, it was overwhelming, and the to-do list just kept growing. That's why having the right partner makes all the difference. And for millions of businesses, that partner is Shopify. We use Shopify for our merch on the YMH store website, and they've made everything so seamless for us. Shopify powers millions of businesses worldwide and 10% of all U.S. e-commerce, from big names like Mattel and Gymshark to brands just getting started. With hundreds of ready-to-use templates, Shopify helps you build a beautiful online store that matches your brand style. Its AI tools speed up content creation by writing product descriptions, headlines, and even enhancing photos. And Shopify, I'm going to sneeze. Thank you. And Shopify is your expert for everything from inventory to shipping and returns. If you're ready to sell, you're ready for Shopify. Turn your big business idea into with Shopify on your side. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/nottoday. Go to shopify.com/nottoday, shopify.com/nottoday. This episode is sponsored by DraftKings. We've teamed up with DraftKings to bring you an amazing offer. New players play just $5 and get 350 slot spins instantly on a featured game. DraftKings Casino is the #1 online casino experience out there, trusted by millions of players. It's actually home to the largest online casino jackpot in history, a jaw-dropping $9.2 million win that happened recently in Michigan. And it's not just a one-time thing. Over 70 lucky millionaires have already been crowned playing on DraftKings. The excitement and big wins are real, and the next big winner could be you. They have exclusive games you won't find anywhere else, like Rocket, DraftKings Baseball Blackjack, and Hop It and Profit. Right now, head to the DraftKings Casino app, sign up using promo code NOTTODAY. New players play $5 and get 350 spins on the featured game. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
But
Yeah.
it's also crazy for someone to be like I understand not knowing, but how some people can be like, nope, there is no high. The same way, like, I know this is very
Yeah.
different, but there's some people who
Sure.
are like, of course there's not aliens. It's like, how do you, like, what
do
is
you
any
know?
of this? Like,
But you know what I say to this is, so if there is nothing after this, then you're not going to know about it. So believe in something that makes you feel good.
That's right.
Yeah,
And then if
Totally.
there is nothing,
Yeah.
then you won't be disappointed because you won't know about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
Of course.
I mean, I think it's kind of, I am probably the most maybe naive person that you probably ever meet. Like, I live in this little bubble.
yeah.
I just, I don't know. Yeah, now my mind just went blank, so that's not good.
Well, what is your bubble like? Because we're kind of bubble people too.
Yeah,
What
we
is
love
your
a bubble.
bubble?
Oh, my bubble consists of like what? I don't know. Like I only think of like happy things. Skittles and rainbows.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's it. I try to live my life. If I can't change it, or if I can't fit, then I don't want to know. Like I don't want to know about it.
Do you think that's because you just know how loved and supported we always are?
I think it has a lot to do. I just think it's one thing. I think it's the way that my parents raised me. Very blessed to have the parents that I have. And I just know that if I can't change something, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not going to bog myself down with burdens and things that aren't even my problem. You know, like my therapist will say to me, Theresa, you got enough patience.
Yeah.
You don't need anything else. Just worry about yourself.
Yeah.
You know,
I bet.
But you know, it's hard. I just try to be positive. I just try to look at things in a positive way. And then there's always a silver lining in something.
Always.
In the most devastating thing that can happen, there's always something good that comes out
I
of
just
it.
got chills. My son just this morning, out of nowhere, said to me, Mom, I think there might have been a reason that I got sick this summer.
And they just had me explain that to you.
Yeah. Whoa. Yeah. He, out of complete nowhere, he said that to me. We weren't even talking about anything.
Yeah.
And I just heard, and I don't know who this came from, but I heard, and your son was the miracle baby to begin with.
He was not planned.
Okay. So miracle baby.
Yeah.
So he absolutely, I believe we're all born for a purpose here in the physical world. We're all born to do special and amazing things. But your son, he's a very, very old soul. Very, you could see it in his eyes. They showed
a week before he went into the hospital, when nothing was wrong, we had no idea what was ahead of us. He texted me, Mommy, I love you so much, I would die for you. It was just, and like,
Wow.
you can't ignore the things. And physically, like, what was happening in the hospital mimicked my body with MS and the things that are wrong with me. I don't want to interrupt you now.
No, but that, I don't mean to interrupt you, but that
No.
was exactly probably what and if you don't mind me saying, what God meant of when, because that's all I keep seeing is the white and golden light, of saying that this was about you, what he went through, to make you a more faithful, and whatever that means for you.
Well, I also, because to me also, you know, I've lived with MS for 24 years and there's, you know, days where it's so hard and there's days where I have so much faith and understanding around it. And for me to see a miracle and the way a body can heal with the will and the belief that it deserves to, like I'm forever changed. And I would have no doubt, and anyone that knows Beau would have no doubt that he would have taken that on for me. Like if you know Beau, and he would have said like, "Oh yeah, I'll be crazy sick for 2 months and do so that my mom can see this so she can get better one day." He would absolutely do it. So thank you for confirming what I've so badly wanted to believe.
And didn't even know a thing about it.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, and then people then have the question why. Right? So then that becomes okay, so now if we're faithful and we have all this, then why? Why would this happen? Sometimes we're not meant to know the answers. That's why sometimes we're meant to kind of be in the dark sometimes about certain things, because we're not supposed to know. Yeah. Because we can't change it. Yeah. There's nothing we can do. Yeah. But I don't know what it is. They just showed me you laying with your son in the hospital, and you actually felt him being healed. I don't know what this is. I literally just saw your son's bed being engulfed in white and golden light. I felt that something entered him and literally just healed him from head to toe, and you knew that he was going to be okay, and you felt it.
Yeah, there was one day where it was just like I was done. I was spent as a mother watching my son suffer, and they were taking him away for like a a super long MRI. And the last time they had done that, he had a hard time waking up from it. And so I was very nervous about them putting him out again. And I just laid in his bed and I prayed with more conviction than I'd ever have in my entire life. And the only thing I asked, because at that point he couldn't speak, he couldn't eat, nothing. And I just said, please tell him to just, please make him be able to say the words, I'm hungry. I don't know why. That was like what I wanted to hear, what I needed. And I felt like a light switch went off. Like, that's the only way I can describe it. And then when they wheeled him out, they ended up an hour later being like, this went so fast, we're bringing him back. It was supposed to be a 4-hour thing. And I can only say this because my best friend was there to witness it. When they came in and he started to wake up, he said, I'm hungry.
Wow. See, these are the things you know what you experienced. You know what you felt. You know what you asked in your own personal thoughts and prayers. So.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And he is like just a walking around embodiment of like all of the love and all of that light. Like that's like, it's just who he is now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Thank
Amazing.
you. Yeah.
That is, I mean, to be 11 and to have a near-death experience.
Yeah.
You know, people have it as adults, right? It's something new that people are now talking about because it's something that people are more open about.
Yeah.
About an afterlife and what they experience. People aren't afraid to say what they experience. And there are so many people that have near-death experiences and describe, you know, what your son has.
Yeah. And he was very detailed about it. He was very detailed. He was like, he had no experience about it.
Right.
So I remember one of the things what he was saying was like, everyone looks great. Everyone's kind of young. And then I had shown him a trailer for, I think it was called Heaven is for Real or one of those movies.
Yeah.
And in the trailer, the little boy had said, oh yeah, everyone's young. And he was like, see? Mom,
Yeah.
I told you. And it's just, again, it's just been so... It's been a lot to just be like, oh my God, it's in my home. It's like in my backyard. Like, this is what I wanted to believe for so long. It's like in front of my face with
I was
my
just going to say that everything that you wanted to believe is real. It is real. And that's exactly the kind of thing that happens, like during one of my live shows.
Yeah.
You know, people are brought on this amazing emotional, spiritual roller coaster. Right? We feel all of the pain and the sorrow, but then we're smiling, we're laughing because souls are channeling with their personality. Because they say that from the moment the soul leaves the physical body, we're completely healed. We take no suffering, there's no disabilities, there's no ailments. And I have souls then channel with their personality. Because I feel what better way to validate that for someone that their loved one is okay.
Yeah.
And some people leave the physical world in a very tragic way, that they're afraid that their loved one's soul is in a peace with God. So how amazing is it for them to show that personality?
Oh, yeah.
And to describe certain things that are like, and it's exactly what you're describing is exactly what people say to me when I channel their loved ones. How would you know that?
Yeah.
How would I even know what happened to your son?
Yeah.
To have that experience.
Yeah. Wow.
And are his hands different? Why do I feel like his hand or does he hold on to you differently?
He picks at his fingers all the time.
Okay.
It's not something he used to do. It's
okay,
like,
so it's now okay.
It's kind of like he doesn't even know he does it. It's kind of
okay. I just wanted to acknowledge that I was interpreting. I wanted Spirit to validate that I was interpreting it correctly.
Yeah.
So he has come back very open. He's like this magnet of, he's very empathic now.
Yes.
They just showed me that he could tell you every emotion that you're feeling.
I have no doubt.
Okay. So what he's doing is taking on like the emotions of also maybe or energy around him.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
So he can maybe do some exercises. This is not, I can just share the things that I do.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like he can just like imagine himself like being like white and golden light, like just pulling out all energy, anything through him, and just imagine himself like completely translucent. And then just imagine himself engulfed in white in God's white light of protection, to just kind of like shed any type of energy or
That's not
anything
his.
that is
Yeah.
not his. Or if he feels things that isn't his, like if someone has a headache and then he's like, oh, well, son, I have a headache. Or he's picking up things. He could just say, be gone, you are not of me. What you're doing is you're acknowledging the energy around you, but you know it's not your emotion.
Yeah.
So, and then it kind of goes away.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so helpful.
Yeah. Does he write?
He writes songs.
Yeah, because they just told me that he channels through his pen. They're giving him messages through what he writes. So as he journals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's been writing songs to sort of express himself.
Perfect. So he could also do that. Or like it might be easier for maybe to him to like imagine himself almost like sometimes like if he's like sometimes like spaghetti in a colander and like just water like rinsing out and just pulling everything out.
Yeah.
And then like you shake it out and like
Yeah.
you're completely
That's a
dried-
good visual for him.
For him
Yeah.
it might be a good way for him to connect it with food. Who doesn't like pasta?
Yeah.
But yeah, so he can maybe try that.
Okay.
You know, to stop
Yeah.
the fidgetness.
Yeah.
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 Because it's not like there's nothing wrong with him. It's just that he's very sensitive to the energy.
Yeah, it does feel like he has too much energy in him that
Yeah, it's in him.
Yes,
It's completely
yes,
in
that he
him.
can't handle at
do,
times.
do you sage? Does he use, or do you use white sage? Or
I mean, I have sage in my house.
You burn
Should I-
it?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, should I
Yeah,
do
you
it
could
around
say
him?
You could do it around. Start with the heart chakra and go clockwise.
Okay.
You know, just have him turn
Yeah.
around and you just like kind of say things like you would just say all nervousness or anything. Please leave. No negativity, only positive, empowering
Yes.
energy around him.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And then he could even say things that he wants, or desires for himself.
Yes.
Be more creative,
Oh, he's
making the baseball team.
He's
I don't
good
know.
at that. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He's good at telling what he wants for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
So when you talk about like you could see like their personalities and stuff, has there ever been anyone who you're like, I want this person to go away, or they seem like mean, or is it always?
So just one time, and it recently happened, there was a woman in the audience. I was drawn to her, and I saw like she had like dark energy around. See, I only channel souls that walk in God's white light, and I know that for a fact because it even just happened last night. I could see a soul, but I couldn't receive information from the soul. Like I couldn't hear anything or feel anything from them. Another soul had a channel for them. Does that make sense?
Yes. Like interpret for your.
Right.
Yeah.
So, because I couldn't lower my vibration low enough to feel anything from that soul, but I could see the soul. So that will happen. Is that what you? I was just getting sidetracked because
Yeah.
sometimes that
I
happens
was
when I
just
get to
wondering
the other.
if, because I know you like even when because I've seen your show and when you did the one with Jamie, you're like you saw her brother's personality.
Yeah.
So I was just wondering
I
if
love
it's
that.
ever
Yes.
if there's like because he has a great personality, but are there
Yes.
ever people where you're like, oh, I don't like this.
That was one she played with a Ouija board, this one woman. And I could see the negative souls attached to her. And I said, you feel this dampness, like something is holding you down, weighing on you. And she said, yes. And I said, well, you played with the Ouija board. And she said, yes. And I said, well, you need to burn it and get rid of it. I said, because you have these energies attached to you. So people think, that this might be not real or it's very real. And
Right.
you have to be very careful on how you dabble on the other side. I'm very protective of what I do, how I do. I treat my work with a lot of prayer. And things
I was
like
gonna
that.
say,
Yeah.
like, is there what is your pre-show ritual? Like, how do you?
My ritual starts from the moment I get up. I start my day with the rosary, but I only do one decade because it's a lot of mysteries. So I usually only do like one decade, but I might do it throughout the day, like do a decade throughout the day. So I start with some morning prayers and a meditation. And then before the show, I do the same thing. I just say a rosary in my frame of reference.
Yeah.
And then I do a meditation and just prepare for the show and just always ask for the highest good of all concerned. And that's it. And I just protect everything in God's gold white light.
Yeah.
And then how are men different than women? Like when you like, oh, this is a man, or like when you're like, oh, this is a woman. Like how is there like a different energy?
I can I just feel it. I just feel it. So I know there's a young gentleman that's present right now. He's a young soul, which means that he left the physical world before we feel their time. So the older I get, the older that.
Yeah.
But it just means that and I can taste blood, and I saw a car accident. So they had to pass tragically, and there had to be a lot of blood connected to the departure. So it doesn't have to be here. It could be someone in the other room. And there's a lot of people here.
Yeah.
So I never have any control over who comes through, what
For
they
who,
say, and what
right.
they don't say. There's also someone that just showed me that he actually overdosed, did not intentionally take his own life. But I feel removed from the person. So it might be, let's say, like someone's friend or someone's friend's brother or something like that, because I felt I can't explain it. When I go into the soul, if they push me to the side, it means that it was removed. They weren't directly connected to the person. Like, I'll just feel like a father figure. Like if I say to someone, oh, did you lose your dad? And you might say, oh, no, I didn't lose my dad, but I lost my uncle who was like a dad. Or there was someone that I lost in my life that was like a father to me that I looked up to. They
Yeah.
make me feel that bond
Right.
that you shared with them.
Yeah.
Did you write a book?
Me, never.
Who was going to write a book?
She's writing a book right now.
Oh, you're writing a book. Oh, okay. So I just wanted to make sure like I was interpreting things correctly, because so someone could be listening now, and sometimes people don't want to say anything. They don't want to interrupt. They don't want to take something from someone. Like, I get it.
Yeah.
When I say things. So I just wanted the souls to validate that I was getting the information correctly, because that's
Yep.
my job.
Yep.
That's all it is. And they saw me writing the book.
Yeah, that is my sole focus
Okay.
right now in my life.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. I felt that the book was going to be very healing for you. And it took a very different direction than you thought it was going to be.
Correct.
But it's exactly where you need to be.
Great. Good. It feels that way.
But why do I feel like your son was going to have some input?
It opens
Oh,
with him.
okay. Okay.
So that is the different direction that it
Oh.
took. I sold the book before the summer.
Oh,
The
okay.
whole book had been mapped out prior to the summer, and then after the summer,
Took a different direction.
taken a bit of a
Perfect.
different turn.
Does he like to draw, your son?
Yes, he loves to
'cause
draw.
They show me, let him do the illustration for the book. And they're like, no, there is no
Cute.
illustration.
Yeah,
But
yeah. But I encouraged him to write his own,
oh, okay. So maybe
so that
will.
he can sort of write his.
That might be why they were showing me, because before you said to me, Heaven is for Real.
Yeah.
That I think that's the movie.
Yeah, yeah.
They kept showing me that.
Yeah.
So maybe it is something, and it might not be then. What people also have to realize, this doesn't mean then your son should write this book and then it's going to be like a movie or a bestseller. It's for him.
No, I
Yeah.
literally am writing it so I can
It's
send
for
it
him.
somewhere to make it a hardcover,
Yes.
so he has it for himself always.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah, this isn't to be published.
Yeah,
It's so he
it's
could
just
put his
for him.
story out.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's important. It's important for future friends, because he's very special. So it'll be important for him to allow to tell his story and let people understand it in their own way.
Yes.
Not from what they hear or read or get information from someone else. They can interpret it on their own.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I wanted him to do it, because
Yeah.
I think he feels really misunderstood, obviously, with other kids. It's, and I, rightfully so. They haven't, what he experienced was,
Right.
like as an adult, you've had life experience to sort of help you conceptualize it, but for kids, they don't.
don't.
And that's been really hard for him. Yeah. So
But he just has to know that he's special, and that even though he might be different, I get it, because I grew up like that.
Yeah.
I grew up feeling different, like I didn't belong, and I used to say that to my mom. I don't feel like I belong here. I feel different than everyone else. And my mom would be like, you're fine. You belong to this family. You're not adopted. You're okay.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know where I would be if I didn't have the parents that I have, And, no one ever really made a big deal about it. But just
Yeah.
by encouraging it, and there are so many children are so connected to the other side to begin with, because
Yeah.
their minds aren't bogged down with burdens. Like we see a shadow, we think, oh, do we have too much wine?
right,
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
right.
Like we're crazy, we're seeing things. And it's like, no. Like
They don't question it.
they
Yeah.
don't question it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
is it your mom's birthday or an anniversary or something? I don't know if it's your brother's way of just sending his love, because he came forward with primary color balloons and red roses. And I said to him, I go, those symbols don't go together, right? And he's like, no, but I want to send these to my mom. So primary color balloons is my symbol for birthday. It could be someone's birthday. And red roses is always love and devotion. She can have her own meaning for red roses, but it's also my meaning for anniversary of someone's death or of a wedding anniversary.
I mean, her birthday's in a few weeks
Oh,
for
okay.
sure, and they were very close,
Okay.
very, very, very close. My birthday is sooner. My
Oh,
birthday's in a
perfect.
week. Yeah.
Okay. So no, it's just his way of sending his love and, more importantly, birthday wishes from heaven. Do you still have his T-shirt
I have
or something that he wore?
I have, what do I have of his in my house? I have sunglasses of his. I have, my mom has.
I was just gonna
all
say, I
that,
think it's
though.
your mom because he just held up the T-shirt
She
again.
smells it a lot.
So
yeah.
just know that when she does that, his soul is with her at that exact moment. Did you want your mom to move? Or was she thinking about going somewhere else?
I mean, I wish my other brother has 5 kids, so she can't move from Long Island. But I obviously wish
they're
that she
all
was
still on Long Island.
Everyone's on Long Island.
Oh, okay.
But yes,
Was there a discussion about a move?
No. I mean, I've actually talked to her about moving out of their house.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. Look, this doesn't mean that she should.
Yeah.
But it's your brother's way of acknowledging that he knows like what conversations are, and he's just like he's like, you could tell her until pigs fly.
Yeah, she's never leaving
not
that house.
leaving.
That she told me. I'm like, Mom, you can't do
She's
3
not
flights of
leaving.
stairs for laundry anymore. You're 76 years old. But no, she
Yeah.
will not leave the house. I think because
Yeah.
of her memories with him there too.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
it's his way of saying like, look, even if you did move, my soul's going to go with you.
Oh.
And it doesn't mean that that she should move.
Right,
Just
right.
knowing of the conversations.
Yeah. Okay. That's good to tell
Yeah.
her.
Do
Yeah.
you? I know a lot of mediums like work with police. Have you ever done that?
No, that's an interesting thing. But it's something when I put my gift in God's hands, because at the time I struggled with my gift for almost a decade. And then 9/11 happened. That was the turning point of my gift. And I had this spiritual experience, somewhat like your son, where it was shown to me that people perished that day and people couldn't heal. Because not only were they not able to even recover their loved one's physical body, they didn't know what happened, and they didn't know if they were okay. So I put my gift in God's hands, and I said, look, if this is my soul's journey, then you open the doors, and I will walk through these doors with my gifts.
So you didn't have the show pre 9/11?
No.
Wow.
No. I was struggling for a really long time with my gift because I couldn't understand, like, how could this be?
Yeah.
Like, I shouldn't be doing this, right? I'm not supposed to do this. And, you know, and who's going to want to come and see a medium and all these things. And so I just said to God, I'll open these doors. I'll walk through them with my gift, but I only want to use my gift for healing. I don't want to know anything about anybody. I have my own problems.
Yeah.
I'm a very simple person. Like, I don't need to know how things work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't care about that. I
Yeah.
just need to know what it is that the person needs to heal, and then we can move on. And that's it. And here I am. I mean, you're talking 24 years later. Wow. And it really has been a journey. My gift has evolved so much. As we change, my gift changes.
Yeah.
Do you have the ability to turn it on and off? Like if you're like, I'm going away, I'm going on vacation for a week. Or is it always the same?
I always feel the same. It's just whether I say something. Like, this is a perfect example. I can feel the energy here, but I'm not being pushed to say anything. The things that I said was what I was just shown to say. I
Yeah.
can feel it because I've also learned not everyone, people could be very faithful and very spiritual, but they don't want to hear from their loved ones, or they might feel that they don't need to. That's not for me to decide.
Yeah.
Even in the audience, for example, someone last night, she was sitting in the front row. And I said to her, who's the mother that passed for you? And she looked at me and I said, it's not your mom. I said, it's someone that was like a mom to you. She didn't say a word. Do you know she was my last reading? 2 hours later, I came back and I said to her, who was the mom that died for you? She wants to take responsibility for her death. And she said it was my aunt. She committed suicide.
Oh my God.
But she wasn't ready. And I will never force a message on someone.
Yeah.
She wasn't ready. Because this is supposed to help someone.
Right.
So,
it's not supposed to
yeah.
do anything else but that.
Yeah.
Right.
And then, like you said, it's for someone else, especially when there's thousands of people in a room or however many people in a room. You're probably like, well, then maybe it's for
Yes.
somebody else, or maybe it's something's crossed, or.
And that's the thing that I say to people when they come to my live show. I leave them with this last thought before I get started, before my show. I say to them, people say it all the time. They'll say, I came into this show, did not know what to expect, right? And I didn't get read, but what I witnessed was life-changing. And then realizing that the people that did get read truly needed to hear from their
Yes.
loved ones more than they did.
Yeah.
And that statement alone just shows how powerful the experience truly is. To
Yeah,
be in
yeah.
a space, whether there's 500 people or 5,000, to watch someone heal right in front of you, you feel it. The energy that you feel in the room is something that you will never feel in your life. It touches me every single time I hit that stage. And I say to myself every time when I'm saying my prayers and preparing, I say to myself, Theresa, you are crazy because you have no idea what's going on. The only thing I know, I'm going to go out there, I'm going to give my speech. And sometimes
Right.
I mess that up. But there's no plan.
Right.
There's no, we go out there and I go out there with my 2 cameramen.
But
And
like how cool, I feel
Yeah.
like the few times in my life that I have felt any kind of surrender, it's incredible. And
Yeah.
that's sort of how you
yeah,
live your life.
yeah.
And how, I could, and most things, right, that end up being that magnificent can feel like a struggle
Sure.
for a while.
Yeah.
Do either of your kids have any of the gift or?
My daughter shows more tendencies of me than my son.
Yeah.
And my son is just very intuitive, extremely sensitive. But I believe it is something, well, look, there's 2 things to this. I feel that we all have it. We all have this ability, some stronger than others. And I think gifts are different ways. Like my brother is a physical therapist and everyone will say, I heal with the words that I speak. My brother actually heals with his hands. People will say, I went to your brother. He healed me. Like he literally,
Wow.
he
Yeah.
heals with his hands.
Yeah.
Do you ever, how like obviously you see like when you're driving down the road, it's like psychic reading, $5 and this stuff. When you see all of that stuff and like there's so many psychics. I even saw one like on the street the other day with a table and like
yeah,
tarot
yeah.
cards and I was walking over this bridge and I'm like, do you ever, or even like mediums who are on TV or anything, do you ever get a feeling of like this person's not, like this person's taking advantage of people, they're not actually real, or you just stay away
I don't
from
even
that?
pay mind to that.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
feel that I feel that mediums are different. I don't feel that mediums are better than another. I feel that we're different on how we communicate and also how we deliver messages. I can only speak for myself, and I say I will support anyone that has a gift that helps people.
Yeah.
And that's it, because that's what it's about. It's not about anything else. I never wanted to be on TV. I mean, I don't know why I'm becoming emotional, but I don't think people realize it. I mean, I didn't choose this. I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't wake up one day and say to my parents, I want to talk to dead people. I think that's going to be a great career choice.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, this is hard work.
Yeah.
It's taxing on my body. I say to myself some days where I say, I can't do this anymore. It's too heavy for my soul. But then I read someone that lost their child and I say, I can't stop. This is why I do what I do. This is why
And it is good for you because you look the same to me 12 years later.
It
You
is.
look amazing. It's not as much as I'm sure it could wear on you and
Yes.
how much it takes from you. You look very well, like nourished. Do you know what I,
I take
mean?
very good
like
care of
you,
myself.
you
I
do, but
try
like
to- That's
great.
when you live your life's purpose,
Yes.
you can't not look like that.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly, because the happiness comes from within.
Exactly.
It's, and I'll never forget this. Years ago, when I first started Long Island Medium, John Edwards sent me a dozen long stem white roses.
Wow.
And he said, I wish you all the best of luck. Congratulations. And there's a part of me, even though I never met him in person, I feel like we have this connection. Like he knew what I was in for, but he also knew that I would be able to handle it in some sense.
Yeah.
Because it's not easy.
Yeah.
It's not easy to do this, to put yourself out there and, but I don't pay any mind to anything. I let people have their own opinion. Everyone has a right to feel the way that they feel.
Yeah.
But don't try to take away someone else's happiness or someone else's, like for instance, your son. Like, don't tell me what my son experienced. We watched it. We were there, right? You know what you saw. And even just now telling you what you felt that something or someone healed your son.
It was wild to feel like I was in the most painful moment of my life, yet I never felt more love. I felt God. It's like the only way I can describe it. I'm like,
And
that's not when you think you feel God,
No,
right? Like you
right,
think you
yeah.
feel God when you're on top of the world, but like I'm literally brought to my knees in like my deepest despair, and that's when I felt it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was powerful. So thank
you
you
know
for
what you felt.
I do, and
That's the point.
And I just like I said, it's just I think he has not wavered in even with kids laughing in his face when he tells them what he experienced.
Wow.
He like literally
Yeah.
laughing in his face. He has not wavered one moment. I'm proud of him. Yeah.
That's strength, that's faith, and that's God.
Have you ever been tempted just to see someone's reaction, like a manager or something, where like you're in an intimate moment with them and you just turn to them one day and go like, this is all bullshit, right? Like if you're like I'm just fucking around, like this isn't.
My manager is here. She probably would flatline if we did say that.
Yeah.
She's actually why and who I am and how I became to be is because of my manager, Courtney Mullen. She came to me for a reading. Unfortunately, her dad had passed away, and she came for a reading. Courtney, I hope you don't mind me telling this. I'm going to give a little bit more detail because
You can tell us later if she doesn't want to.
Oh yeah, but she was engaged and she couldn't imagine herself getting married now without her dad, and
Yeah.
she almost called off her wedding and everything. She came for a reading and it changed her life. She ended up marrying Ed. They're still married. They got 3 beautiful children. She was negotiating contracts as she was giving birth to Peyton, her firstborn. But she came to me one day and she said, she felt, her and her sister Victoria felt that everyone should have this experience that loses a loved one. And she asked me, she said, do you want to do a television show? Now, I knew of Courtney. I didn't really know her. I just knew of her. And that's the way I work with my life. I need to know people.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't go with strangers or like put, my faith in complete strangers like that, especially my life. So I'm like, all right, yeah, I'll do a TV show. So here I am. They used to make fun of me. I'm still making appointments, like on my break from filming. And they're all laughing. They're going, she's still making appointments. They're like, your life is forever going to change. And I'm like, no, I'm going to just go back to and here I am.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Do you get messages for you, or is it usually?
That's hard. Because I don't know if it's my own personal thoughts, feelings, or emotions. So that's what I feel the main thing of what I do is I feel I'm just able to validate for you that the things that you sense and feel are real. You're not crazy. Because I look for those validations myself when I see things and I get things.
Yeah.
I say to myself, how could that is crazy.
Yeah, because it must be so hard to differentiate
Yes.
if this thought is for me or am I wanting to think this thought, but you can confirm it for other
Yes.
people. Wow.
Are there certain places you go that always feel like there's more spirits there than somewhere? Like people obviously think like a graveyard, but it's like, why would spirits hang around a graveyard? Like they'd want to get out of there.
Yeah, they're
right?
not there.
Yeah,
We're
of
bringing
course.
them there.
Yeah.
We're bringing them there. Like, I remember one
Right.
time going, just visiting my grandparents' grave, and
Yeah.
a woman said to me, she's like, what are you doing here? I was so annoyed by that. I said, I'm passing out my business card. What do you think I'm doing
Yeah,
here?
yeah.
Like, I'm visiting my grandparents.
Yeah.
My great-grandparents are over there. My uncles are over here. We're all in the same section, like.
But yeah, I guess that is
yeah.
a beautiful way to think of it. It's a place
We
where
bring them.
you feel like you can fully acknowledge them and then
Yes.
you can bring them.
Some
there.
people need that. Some people, they camp out
Yeah.
at their loved one's burial plot.
I've
Yeah.
seen it.
They have parties. Some people can't even drive past the cemetery. It's okay because they're not a part of the physical body. What we do with the physical body is for us,
Yeah.
to help us through our grief.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I think my spirit would be at Whole Foods. That's where I feel the most.
That's where would go if God forbid I had to live in this world without you, Rob. I would literally be going down the meat aisle at Whole Foods, just feeling you.
Do they even sell meat at Whole Foods?
Oh
No?
yeah, it's all right from the farm. That's where you get. That's where you get it right from the farm. Yeah.
There he is, aisle 6.
That's
Yeah,
right.
I'd be all around the outside. But
Yeah.
I obviously thank you for coming, but also I want to thank you because when I hugged you hello, I felt Long Island, I felt Jersey, and being in
yes.
Texas, you miss it.
Is
you
that
know?
where you're from too?
I grew up in New York City my whole life.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So whether it's, my friends or whatever
Yeah.
brings me back, like just saying hello to you and hugging you, I was like, Like it's like I feel Jersey, I
It's
feel Long
People
Island.
say that. They
It's
say
so
that.
true.
They're like, I feel like you're bringing a part of home to me.
You do.
But
you
in
do.
a sense, I am.
Yes,
Just
you in
people being
so many
open.
ways you
Yeah.
are. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah, your vibe is just so, you know, like you could have just called your show The Medium and everyone would have been like, yeah, the Long Island Medium. Like,
Yeah.
you know, yeah,
Yeah.
you're so Long Island. I love that. Like even when your family comes, it's like, it's such a good feeling to be like, oh, it's home. Like they
Yeah.
just bring something
It's an
that
anchor,
like,
yeah.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
that unconditional love, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I know. I still live next door to my parents. I still live in the house next door to where I grew up in. And people always like, I can't believe you still live there. I go, where am I going to go? I'm like, I travel all over the country and I love places. I love all parts of America, but I always want to go home. I always want to go home. Hicksville.
I know.
I don't
You're
think
my
anyone's
neighbor.
like
I
that.
was Jericho.
Yeah, right down.
Right next to us.
Right now.
That was my
train.
train stop station.
Yes, and I was talking to your husband about that. So my son-in-law is said big, huge fan, and like he is so obsessed with you. It's not even funny. Like he almost came. They own a restaurant, Pastaria,
Yeah.
and it's in like Hicksville, Plainview,
Yeah.
and I forgot what I was gonna say. This is what happens to me.
Oh, well, please.
All
If
of
you
us,
want, you'll
yeah.
have to just come back and bring him.
Yeah, you'll have. Oh, yeah, no. Well, I was gonna say, I can't believe you guys come to New York. We're gonna have to meet
Oh,
up.
I'm
yeah.
on Long
Yeah.
Island at least 2-3 times a year because
Oh my
my
God.
parents live in Plainview.
Yeah.
My brother lives in Jericho still. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
It's the next town over.
Yeah.
From me. Yeah.
It is weird, like, because, like, when you're young, these places kind of catch a bad rap. Like, you're like, oh, Long Island or, like,
Yeah.
Jersey and this. And then you get older and you're like, it's all the same. Like,
It's all the
that
same.
little pocket of, like, you know, even, like, Connecticut or whatever. Like, that area, you just see these people where you're
Yeah.
like, there's no one down here like that. Like, there's
Yeah.
nobody who, like, you
Yeah.
go into the deli to get your coffee and you're like, this guy's the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you're like, he's
Yeah.
crazy. Like, you know, you're like, this guy, everybody who I go to, like, in the city who I know, like, the guy at the dry cleaner is nuts. Like, he's crazy. Like, you know, and when you come here, you're kind of just like, oh no, the dry cleaner is just like a regular
regular-
person.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you know, and you're like, I want an insane
miss our
person.
crazies.
Yeah, I want an insane person
Yeah.
doing my dry cleaning, you know? It's nice. It's comforting for some reason. That's what I grew up doing, you know?
Because that's what you're used to.
Yeah,
Right?
for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is. It is very, very different. But what do they say? There's no place like home.
Yeah. So we've seen your show, obviously. What is your podcast like?
So my podcast, I don't do it like this. I do it. It's virtual. I actually started during the pandemic because I felt that people needed my gift more than ever during that time. So I have a hotline that people call in, and they can request to have a reading, or we always pick someone from my fan club to be a guest on the podcast, and I do a reading over a Zoom.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's
Wow.
awesome. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
everybody who's listening to this, check out Theresa's podcast. And then
And she's on tour and just thank you.
Oh, thank you
I'm
you.
I'm sure you have heard this millions of times of just the way you leave people, but consider it another notch today.
Aw.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you.
yeah,
It
thank
was
you
an
for
honor to
bringing
be
some
here.
Long Island to Texas.
Yes.
Anytime.
Yeah.
Yeah, we appreciate it.